Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. I'm your teacher Simin Amir and today I'm here again with a new lecture. I hope everything is going well at your side. Let's start today's lecture. This is my lecture number 23 for grade 01. Today we have a history class on GC and we are on last chapter, chapter number 16, which is about the Pakistan international affairs. So today's topic is Pakistan, Britain and the Commonwealth nations. The Commonwealth of Nations, generally known simply as Commonwealth, it is like a political association of 54 member states and nearly all were like the former territories of British Empire. So the Commonwealth is a traditional English term for a political community founded for the common good. The term evolved to become a title to a number of political entities. So many of the countries are the part of this Commonwealth nations. Since independence, Pakistan has had a complicated relationship with the British as it was a British colony until 1947. It is not surprising that Pakistan was determined to break as many links as possible with its old colonial master. It was extremely critical of the British decision to appoint the Viceroy, the last Viceroy of India, Lord Mountbatten, as India's first Governor General. The Qaid also felt that the partition plan had created problems for Pakistan that would be difficult to solve. Like the border imposed at partition was bound to lead to disputes with neighbors. On the other hand, the British provided Jinnah with help at the top levels of both the military and the civil services. It would have been difficult for Pakistan to begin life as an independent country without this assistance and expertise. British also gave financial and technical aid and advice. However, Pakistan felt that if their country had been treated more fairly at partition, there would have been as much need of either. So Pakistan began its life as an independent country, keen to show its newfound or newly discovered independence, but at the same time appreciating the value of maintaining friendly relations with Britain. It is true to say that throughout the first 40 years of its existence, Pakistan remained on good terms with the British Empire. Pakistan chose to remain a member of the Commonwealth, and Pakistan is one of those countries who got freedom from the British rule. After independence, Pakistan as well as India became members of the Commonwealth. There are two groups of people who give their opinion regarding the membership of Pakistan in Commonwealth. One school of thought has the opinion that Pakistan should have not joined the Commonwealth because Pakistan rejected Mountbatten as its Governor General while India accepted his offer. So India would have more good relations with Commonwealth than Pakistan, and if any issue arise between the two states, India and Pakistan, then Britain would likely favor India. The second school of thought has the opinion that Pakistan should not withdraw from it because the problems that Pakistan is facing can be solved through this platform. In 1956, Pakistan declared itself as a republic. A republic is a democratic state in which supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives. This meant that the British monarch no longer had any say in how Pakistan was governed. But Pakistan continued as a member of the Commonwealth. This membership gave Pakistan political and economic support. At a Commonwealth meeting in Colombo in 1950, the Colombo Plan was set up to provide aid for Pakistan. However, relations with the Commonwealth have sometimes been strained. Pakistan has not always had the political support it hoped for, as in the issue of Kashmir. Both the United Nations and Commonwealth could not give substantial results on many long-standing issues between India and Pakistan. The right of self-determination has not been given to the people of Kashmir, and they are still being oppressed and persecuted by the Indian state. The Commonwealth members have often argued against the policy of military rule, and equally there were times when Pakistan failed to support Britain. Britain and Pakistan worked together as member of both CENTO and CETO. Both CENTO and CETO were the non-communist organizations. But still, this did not, however, stop Pakistan criticizing Britain over the invasion of the Suez Canal in 1956 when British invaded over Egypt. Nor did it mean British support in the wars between Pakistan and India. But in 1965, Britain played a major part in bringing the war between Pakistan and India to an end. And the final agreement was signed at the Commonwealth Conference in London in June 1965. Britain remained neutral all through the Bangladesh crisis in 1971, abstaining in the United Nations when a vote was taken on whether Bangladesh should be recognized as an independent country, saying it was for Pakistan and Bangladesh to sort out. When Britain recognized Bangladesh as a separate state on 2nd February 1971, Pakistan left the Commonwealth in protest. During the Afghan crisis, Britain supported Pakistan, and the British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher was the first Western leader who visited Pakistan after the occupation of Afghanistan. British was a loyal ally to the USA, and they supported the role of Pakistan in Afghanistan struggle against the Soviet Union. They not only gave us the political support, but they also gave us some financial support to help the Afghan refugees. Pakistan returned to the Commonwealth in 1989. The Afghan situation had improved relations with the West, and Pakistan also saw Commonwealth meeting as a very useful platform to put pressure on India over Kashmir. Previous attempts to rejoin Commonwealth had been blocked by India, who argued that Pakistan was under military rule and only democratic countries could be members. So the death of Ziaul Haq ended military rule, and these objections were no longer valid. After the civil war in East Pakistan and the creation of Bangladesh, relations between the two countries remained spoiled. Pakistan saw Bangladesh as a rebel nation, having broken away from West Pakistan and winning independence largely as a result of support from um, uh, Pakistan's bitter rival, that was India. During civil war, there had been severe fighting in East Pakistan, which had left a legacy of distrust and anger between the two countries. Pakistan was hostile to Bangladesh in the early 1970s. There was a problem of reallocating assets that had been shared between the two countries. Bangladesh claimed that it had the right to many of the assets of West Pakistan. There was a problem of people in each country who wished to settle in the other one. That wasn't as huge as in 1947 between India and Pakistan, but still it was a matter of problem. In early 1974, however, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was invited in the OIC meeting in Lahore. This was a highly important point in relations between the two countries, as for the first time Bangladesh was officially recognized by Pakistan as an independent state. In June 1974, Bhutto visited Pakistan. During this visit, the decision of assets was discussed. Bangladesh asked for over half of the assets of that Pakistan had owned in 1971, but Bhutto rejected this as unrealistic. The Prime Minister of Bangladesh also insisted that Pakistan take all non Bengalis from Bangladesh, whether they wish to live or not. Bhutto also rejected this as unreasonable. The two countries had agreed to establish friendly relations, but they were some way from agreeing on the fundamental issues which divided them. In 1975, Sheikh Mujib died. Although Khundekar Mushtaq, the new leader of Bangladesh, did not withdraw the claims over assets and repatriation. He recognized that they should not act as barriers to better relations between the two countries. The two countries exchanged ambassadors and reached an agreement to cooperate on trade, tourism, and on media. By 1986, trade goods moving between the two countries had reached a value of $40 million. In 1980s, Bangladesh supported Pakistan's policy of opposing Soviet actions in Afghanistan. In 85 and 88, Bangladesh was hit by such severe weather that foreign aid was urgently needed. On both occasions, Pakistan was the first country to contribute. Despite the wounds incurred or experienced in 1971, Pakistan had not forgotten the strong ties it had with its Muslim brothers in East Pakistan. Two major areas of disagreement remains between them, and both stemmed from the dislocations resulting from the independence struggle. The first problem was the finances of United Pakistan, and the second, the immigration of large number of people, mostly Biharis, non-Bengalis, Muslims, to Pakistan. Both countries were in poor relations on some occasions, but both had some good relations as well. In the poor relations, the causes were like the War of 1971 and their poor relations with the two wings in the East Pakistan. The civil war and fighting in the East Pakistan and the rebel attitude of Bangladeshis. Pakistan refused to recognize Bangladesh as a country till in 1974 because Bangladesh took independence from Pakistan. Many Muslims declared Bangladesh namanzoor. Disagreement over assets made good relations difficult, and to take back the non-Bengalis from Bangladesh, these were the causes for the poor relationship. But on some occasions, our relations with Bangladesh remained very good because of these causes. The assassination of Mujib provided a way to restore the relations, and relations improved after 1976. Agreements have taken place on tourism, culture, and trade. By the end of 86, trade had reached a value of $40 million a year. Bangladesh attended OIC, which is like the Organization of Islamic Countries, and that was held in 1974 in Lahore. Pakistan recognized Bangladesh in 1974 for the first time. SAARC was joined by both countries for mutual interest, and they helped in hot times like floods, cyclones, etc. I think this is enough for today's lecture. Here is your assignment. Only two questions, one for 4 marks and the other one is for 7 marks. Now, 4 mark question is what problem stood in the way of good relations between Pakistan and Bangladesh in 1971? So, in a para, you have to give the problems that stood between Pakistan and India for good relations. Then, why did the relations between the two countries improve in 1970s and 80s? So Obviously, this is why questions you have to give at least three reasons in three different paras. Do these questions in your neat notebook. Thank you so much, dear students, for watching this video. I hope everything will be clear now. If still you have any query, any confusion, you can drop down your questions in the comment box. And you can ask me in the live session on Thursday. So we'll meet up again with another video for Friday. And till then, Allah Hafiz.